Hey, David Brewster here with a new episode of Chordplay. This is the Chords of Nile Rodgers, and I've had some requests to feature some of Nile's music. Also requests to feature more funk, soul, and R&B, and even disco, too. And we're actually going to hit all of that in this episode. Definitely, Nile Rodgers is a legendary guitarist, producer, musician, songwriter, very respected. His career started somewhere around 1972, and he actually placed 7th in the recent Rolling Stone 250 Greatest Guitarists, list. Not really a big fan of lists like that, but it is pretty impressive that Nile hit number 7. 6 Grammy Awards, including a Lifetime Achievement Award. And there's no question, Nile Rodgers is a legendary, funk, R&B, soul, and, pop and rock guitarist and producer. A legend. So in Nile's career, he's worked with everybody. Definitely well known and kind of connected with Chic and also Sister Sledge. But he's worked with Madonna and Mick Jagger and David Bowie, and there's a whole bunch of people. NXS, and Lady Gaga, Pharrell Williams, Duran Duran. There's a ton of people that he's worked with, either, on guitar or as a producer, songwriter, co-songwriter or something. But here's an image with some of the people that Nile's worked with in his lengthy and impressive career. The music and chord-based examples in this episode came from 4 Nile Rodgers-related albums, and that includes Chic with Say Chic, also Mick Jagger album, also a Sister Sledge album, and also Norma Jean's kind of debut solo album from 1978. If you're a funk guitar fan, or you want to basically open your chord kind of comping and rhythm skills, this lesson's definitely going to blow the doors open. With a lot of chords and implied chords. A lot of funky scratching and stuff. Definitely, Nile's a very exciting guitarist, and I'm thrilled to put this episode together. So here we go. All right, with the opening, that's the song Funny Bone from Chic, from the album Say Chic, and it's something like this. Something like that. That kind of thing. Really busy, really active. I love, funk guitar parts like this. So it starts with an implied, E minor 7 to that E7 sus2. So think of the Hendrix chord, but you're not grabbing that, that G sharp or the 3rd. You're just grabbing the root and then the top 2 notes there. So that partial E minor 7 to an E7 sus2. And then you start doing, so that's E. And then you could think of this like an E9 sus4. You could also think of like D over E, but E9 sus4, and then it actually changes to E9, like an E9 over G sharp. So it's all partial chords right there, there, and there. And you do hear him kind of play with that partial E9. Kind of hits like the top part. Like that. And then you basically hit those, you know, the E7 or E minor 7 to that E7 sus2, and then you start that whole riff over again. You're gonna repeat that basically 4 times, and then you start funking out with this. You know, super funky right there. Just that D to C sharp back and forth. And then right there you're gonna move into an E9. And you're also gonna grab, you know, that C sharp up there. That's like an E13. You know, just for a second. Guitar parts like that, so cool. Now Nile definitely plays full kind of funky chords, but then he also plays a lot of implied partial chords, and this is from Le Freak, from say Chic, from the band Chic, and definitely probably Nile's most famous guitar riff. That, and it's all, you know, partial chords, little double stops, you know, that double 5th fret there on the B and the high E, holding that A and that E note, and then, you know, single notes into a double stop there on the 5th fret, and then the 7th fret to 5th fret double stops, kind of scratch and sniff, like that. Short and sweet and really simple, but definitely very recognizable and very famous too. Classic. Next up's the song Saturday. This came from the Norma Jean solo album from 1978, and that's a great overlooked album, by the way. Something like this. So it actually starts with this, and that's an A minor 9. Like that. Think of like this A minor 7 chord like that, but you're going to add that B up on top, and that's the 9th. So A minor 9. And right there you're going to move that B up to C. And definitely there's a lot of pinky work in this episode. So if your pinky finger is a little weak or needs some help, this lesson's definitely going to wake it up. So right there, like on the 6th strum, you're going to move that B to C, and then right there answer that with an F major 7, like that, and then it's D minor 7 to an E minor 7, and then add that A note, and then that's an E7 sus4, like that, and then go right back to that A minor 9. Jazzy, kind of funky riff. Really cool. Next up's the song Secrets. This came from the Mick Jagger solo album She's the Boss, and there's actually kind of a moving chord progression under this kind of simple like double stop riff. So really Nile's just doing that. And there's a chord progression behind him that's moving from B, like B minor, basically, to A, A major, and then F sharp minor. So I kind of set up a little loop here with the MXR clone looper. And this riff, from Secrets is something like this. One more time right there. Pretty basic, but you're basically doing this. A little double stop and doing a hammer on and reaching over and grabbing that D note. And keep in mind, once again, that's kind of played over B as far as the first part, right? Like that B minor kind of implied. And then that bass note moves to A. And eventually F sharp down there. But I'm going to grab it right there. And then eventually ends up on E. That little kind of bluesy slide there. Really interesting. I'm a big fan of implied chords that kind of shift and change with those moving bass notes under it. Really cool. Next up's the song Thinking of You. This came from the Sister Sledge album We Are Family, which that's definitely a classic album from the 70s, and this is super cool, like this. Like that, and it's really busy. It's all over the place. I love stuff like this. So it starts with this G minor 7 implied, like that. Just think of like that 70s chord inversion, but you're coming down on a G minor 7 like that. And you're also grabbing that F on top, but you're doing, so you kind of save that F for later, like that. And then right there, it's a partial, think of F, but you're basically playing F over A right there. You're also grabbing that G note, like an F9 kind of implied, like that. And then move that down a whole step. Now it's like an E flat right there, like an E flat over G. And then down there, it's like a B flat over D. So Nile's hitting those kind of inverted chords. Right there for F, right there for E flat, and right there for B flat too, like that. And then right there you just kind of scratch and sniff like a C to a B flat, and then start it again, go back to G minor 7. And right there end up on that B flat over D, and then you're doing part of a G minor 9 to G minor. Like that, and just moving that A note up to B flat, and that just kind of happens for a second, and it goes right back into that riff again, and then do that kind of scratchy, C to B flat, and then start it one more time, and then right there you're going to do that E flat, you're going to end up on that F note, and then you're going to end up on a B flat major 7 right there, right here. And then you start doing this funky, like, E flat major 7 back into that B flat major 7. Something like that. What a cool, funky guitar part. All right, last but not least is I Like Love. This came from the Norma Jean solo album from 1978. And this riff and these chord moves is brutal on your pinky. There's all this slurring going on. Really cool, like this. Hard to do. Like my pinky feels like it's gonna fly off right there because it's all on your pinky finger too to make those kind of fluttery legato moves. So once again, he's kind of playing with that. So it's like a C over E once again. You know, we kind of saw that in the previous example. But he's doing that, and then his pinky, right, is doing that hammer-on pull-off right there. Right there, you're going to basically move to this partial G and just do one flutter right there, you know, grab that E note, go back to that C over E and do one flutter, and then you're going to go back to that G and you're doing two flutters now, like that, and you're grabbing that A note and also that E note. And then after you do that, then you're going to basically move to this, which that's like a D over F sharp, and you're going to do it right there. Like that. So like I said, it's all on the pinky. So let me walk through that really slow. It starts here. Hop up there. Go right back to that again. And then you're going to go up here. And then go right here. So there's a chord progression happening here. You know, that G, that C, and that D. But it's camouflaged with all those blurry legato flutters and stuff. What a deceptively hard riff, especially for that pinky finger. Great workout. All right, that's going to wrap this episode of Chordplay with this look at Nile Rodgers. Definitely a very important and legendary, influential, impactful guitarist. And definitely, you know, back in the 70s, his music and guitar riffs and guitar playing was seemingly everywhere. And, you know, Chic and Sister Sledge and artists like that. Not to mention all the, you know, sessions and studio work he did in the 70s, 80s, and beyond. And he's still active. He's still, you know, producing and pumping out stuff. You know, very exciting guitarist. And I love his rhythm parts. It's so active and alive, you know, and scratchy and funky. And there's like little parts of jazz and soul and stuff kind of hiding in there. Really great stuff. And I love, you know, these kind of active and dynamic guitar parts and riffs. It's fun to play. So anyway, leave some feedback and comments. Please subscribe to Nail Lessons, and I'll be back before you know with more content and material. Thank you.